So the first thing is I'm going to welcome y'all to the channel, whoever's new here. And do not forget to subscribe because this is prime time, son. This is prime time. And in this video, I'm going to take you guys down memory lane. How many times have you guys decided to take one woman seriously? Like, you know how you can talk to many different women and stuff like this, right? Well, in a man's life, there comes a time where there's that one woman that stands out. There's that one woman that stands out. You can actually see a lot of good in her. You can see forever in her. You can see a lot of promising stuff in her. What happens every time you commit? What happens? Things might go a little bit differently in some circumstances, but what's the end result? You're single, right? It didn't work. You committed to a woman and it didn't work. Think about how many guys are in relationships right now. And here's the thing. Because there's lots of people in relationships. And just because they were in relationships for years doesn't make it a good relationship. There are certain guys like myself that refuse to be treated, I'm not going to say like shit, but just, it's not what you want. It's not what you want. Life would be better without that in it, also known as that type of female. Some guys are in relationships. Sure, it might seem good on the outside. It might seem long lasting. It might seem like all this. I swear to God, guys, the amount of women that's in relationships that despise their own husbands, it's ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous. I know a ton of people who's in relationships, and maybe on social media it might seem good. It might seem like they're living it up. They're doing it right. Everything's in order. Things are going somewhat accordingly. But behind closed doors, bro, I know things. And man, it's not what it all seems, bro. Some guys are just willing to take the beatings. Some guys are just willing to stand in the fire and just be there and whatever. And I myself have been in relationships before and have had to stand in the fire at times. But it ended. Some guys will stay right in it, bro. Year after year after year. I don't understand how. But what I do understand, as these men are no longer even a man. They're controlled by a witch. I'm not joking. I wish I was. I'm not joking, bro. They are controlled and abused and manipulated by a witch. So just because someone's in a relationship, just because someone's in a marriage, doesn't make them successfully in one. There's unsuccessful marriages, guys. There's unsuccessful relationships, guys. Think about it. It's not black and white. Oh, success relationship. No. I could be in a relationship tomorrow. That would not have me in some successful relationship. In fact, I know it wouldn't. Because some broad I could get in a relationship with tomorrow, it wouldn't be a successful one. It'd be a low quality, low tier relationship. I don't know what it is, guys, but in fact, I do know what it is. I'm going to explain it. Women despise men who commit to them. Women despise the men who fully commit and invest into them. It can happen if you're rich. It can happen if you're broke. It can happen if you're middle class. It can happen if... Doesn't matter, the situation. Because it's happened in every single scenario. I don't understand how some people get it right in life, because some people do. Some people in the world. I know families, they're successful. They are literally successful. And I believe because the woman played her part. She was devoted to being a wife. She was devoted to being a mother. She was devoted to her duties. And she didn't step over the line. She didn't cross boundaries. She didn't go hot and cold on her man and manipulate him like some witch and do all this kinds of crazy stuff. And as well as the man, because it takes two to tango, the man played his role as well. He was a protector. He was a provider. You guys want to know the sick reality of what's going on in the world today? It's damn near impossible to get a young man and a woman together today for it to be this way because of the likes of social media, all the false propaganda, all the crazy stuff that's going on. People find this boring. I've been playing my role for the last 10 years of my life. Sure, when I was a kid, I partied in high school. I had a good time. I experienced women. I experienced being rebellious. I experienced smoking some weed, hustling some weed, at parties, fighting dudes. Taking guys' chicks at some prom party. Not even purposely, but it happened. I experienced things. I got to the age of 19. It all fell like this. I stopped. I looked at myself. I looked at my age. I'm an adult now. No one told me to do what I did in life. It was engraved in me to be that way. And I followed my gut. I listened to God. I followed my gut. I did what I should have done. No one told me to do it. I didn't have mentors in my life. In fact, quite the opposite. I grew up around unambitious people, and that is a fact. No one I grew up around was ambitious whatsoever. But there's something about me that I had ambition inside of me as a young kid. And I lived ambitious by my damn self. I might have had a few family members who was that way. No parents, no siblings. First cousins. Who have helped me get as good as I got at sports when I was young. And it was just always in me to be that way. And I'm telling you, man, maybe I got to high school and I enjoyed myself. Still played sports, partied, did all that stuff. But when I hit 19, I did exactly what I should have done. And how many men and women today, can you guys answer, are actually doing exactly what they should have done? Not that many. I put myself in a great position to be able to be exactly the man that I wanted to be. Here's the thing. You need a woman now to be your equal. You can't have success with no damaged, traumatized woman. Because she can't play her part. You can, she can't. That's the thing. I've tried many times. And I can't reach up to heaven and grab some woman down that was good to earth. I know there's not a lot here no more. I know that. But I can't reincarnate no woman. I can't bring no woman down from earth. Down to earth, I should say, from heaven. I can't do it. And unicorns don't exist. They're fake. So, yeah, I believe this theory that women despise men who commit are number one street trash themselves. Because any real woman would love a man to commit, would love a man to play his part and his duties. But all these suckers out here today, bro, they don't appreciate it. They're unappreciative. It's the same women you can buy a whole bunch of stuff for, do a whole bunch of things for, protect her, provide for her, love her, do all this stuff, and what do you get in return? Eventual disrespect, because it might not show up right away. A little bit of time goes on. The weird behavior starts, the strange behavior starts, the rudeness starts, the disrespect starts, the name calling starts. And you're just like shaking your head like you can't even believe this is going on right now. But this is why women despise men who commit. Because they're not real women. They're not real women, guys. They're a witch. You're being manipulated. You're being fooled. Real women, you know what? Life isn't all about fun and joy and excitement and just all this stuff. Real women know that. Real women are going to play their duties knowing damn well they have a good man. That's the thing, guys. These other broads are all about the dopamine hits, the fun, the joy, their feelings. And if things start to make them not feel so dopamine high and all this rush and all this excitement and this honeymoon phase, and they come back down to reality a little bit, all of a sudden they're bored. All of a sudden they despise you. All of a sudden they're doing something to ruin everything you just fucking created. Because they're not real women. One day they will learn. Some women, bro, I know 60-year-old women who haven't learned their lesson. They're drinking alcohol, telling me, and I say this because it happened in 2021. I was painting a man's house, and he paid me good to do it. I was living, and that's how I became a painter to some degree. Because I did little jobs for people and stuff like that, and the carpenter I was working with at the time, which I don't know more. I'm just doing my own thing totally. But I swear to God, guys, I was painting a house that some old man lived in, that I lived right beside. Ironically, I lived beside him. I didn't paint it because I lived beside him. Ironically, he was beside me. So, like literally right down the block and you turn right and the big house is right there. I have the pictures on my phone and everything of painting the house. There was a woman. This house was like two houses. There was a big house in front. There was a little tiny home in back. And she had this little spot out back. You can't get into the house. Like you have to go through the front or the back. You can't be in the back and get to the front of the house. You have to walk outside into the front, if you guys understand what I'm talking about. So she had her own little spot out back. I'd be painting sometimes. She'd come outside. And she'd start talking to me, and it'd be annoying sometimes. I'd just be painting, and she talks a lot. She smoked cigarettes. She was an alcoholic. And I'm telling you guys right now, she destroyed her marriage because she stopped doing the little things that her husband needed her to do. And she started to disrespect him. There's not enough talk about women failing men. But it's happening more than men are failing anything else. I know that for a fact. Even through my own life experience, I have never actually been with a woman that I have failed. I have never failed a woman that I committed to in my life. They have failed me, whether it be their trauma, something crazy or whatever has gone on. They've all admitted, I was so good to them, this and that, that and this. And you'd be lucky if they admitted it, because a lot of these traumatized girls, bro, they want to play some reverse type psychology shit and just try to destroy you to kind of cover up their own traumas and stuff like this. But bro, it's absolutely insane. So there's a lot of traumatized women in this world today. I don't know how, but there is. And you can't knock yourself as a man when you decide to commit to a woman, because it doesn't make you weak. Is wanting a family weak all of a sudden? Is wanting a fucking family weak? Like, let's actually think about this. How ridiculous does that sound? Being scared to death of life and not wanting a family and not wanting to commit and not wanting vulnerability and being terrified of that is what's weak. And these women, bro, it's exactly what they are. So this whole theory of women despising men who commit is their own personal traumas and struggles that a lot of them are very in denial about. I'm here to validate you guys. Y'all did nothing wrong, boy. Y'all did nothing wrong, my boy. You did nothing wrong. You did exactly what the fuck you should have done. That's what you did. You just landed upon an unworthy woman. And most of them can never look themselves in the mirror and actually admit their wrongdoings. And admit that they are not even close to who they should be. And admit that they have issues. And admit that they have traumas. And admit that they are scared and insecure and everything else. And you are great. They don't want to admit that. They want to flip it. They want to project. Women are masters of manipulation, guys. Women are masters of projection, guys. And I have seen some wicked, wicked, wicked stuff. Wicked stuff. Absolutely insane. But that's what you get when you commit to a traumatized woman, a 304, a woman who is not worthy. They project all their damage onto yourself. They make you feel like you did something wrong. They make you feel bad the whole time. You had nothing but good intentions the whole time. You did exactly the things you should have done. You didn't make any mistakes. You didn't do shit wrong. You played your cards correctly. You just landed upon the wrong female. You might have thought she was the one. You might have thought it was a good female. They act that way for months. And then you see the truth. That's typically how it unfolds, isn't it? But, yeah, I'm not going to lie. These types of women do despise when men commit because they're not worthy. You're committing to someone, bro, who is absolutely worse than a child inside. That's the thing. Like, they're not a real woman. They haven't grown. Past the age of 15, they have not grown. You have, they have not. That's why they don't take you seriously. Nor can they take anybody seriously because they cannot take themselves seriously. They put on an act to make you fall for their act, and you did. Like, because how can you know? We only ever know what's put in front of us. So you have to see that through to then learn and realize the type of animal you've been dealing with, which is probably a witch. So, you know, I've had bad strings of luck, guys, in my dating life. I've had some bad strings of luck. I have not had luck in my dating life whatsoever. I have not. I can't say I have. I cannot say I have. I had love for the girls that I was with before. And I know for a fact the ones that I was with, it would have worked if not for their probably trauma and everything else, which is the sad part. But man, this world, we could die right now. Like the world's not that deep, bro. This world is not that deep. We could be out of here in a second. Things happen, painful events happen. People are poor sometimes their entire life, and that's their reality. So at the end of the day, what goes right, what goes wrong, it just is what it is. It's reality. Like, did I see things going differently in my life? I did, but it's not something I can harp on. It's just you got to take it. There's a lot of other amazing things that have happened that got me and took me by surprise. So you got to be grateful for the wins, but there's going to be losses. And I'll tell you what. And I'm not saying this to be a prick. I'm not saying this to be mean. Women has caused most of my losses in life. My biggest losses in life was in the hands of women. In fact, some of my only losses have come in the hands of women and the events that took place and the things that's happened. So, yeah. And I've taken losses in life other than that as well. Just those are by far the biggest ones. The biggest disappointments, the biggest piss-offs. And you have every right to feel the way you feel during the times that things go down. But it's time to move forward ASAP. And that's what I tell every single guy that I get on these coaching calls with, pretty much daily, sometimes multiple times a day. You have to allow yourself to feel the way you feel after the things and the events that has taken place, but after that, you must move on and kind of get that stuff out of your head. And the worst thing you can do is sit around and just like reminisce on things that's happened and stuff like this. I can't lie. I've done it before. And it's not good. You just think back to the times that actually happened. And you just think about it, and it's like, it's not good. It is good to move forward in life. One task after the other, after the other, after the other. Keep it moving forward and do your best. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, man, men are not weak for committing to women. It's natural. It's what we're supposed to do. God has intended us to actually commit to a woman and protect and provide for a woman and be a man to a woman. The thing is, guys, how many women can commit to us and keep it together? Not that many. They get paranoid, they get sketched out, they start to freak out over nothing. Nothing even happened. And they start to get paranoid and they start to overthink things in their head. and they start to make these crazy decisions, and it starts to affect the relationship. It starts to affect the connection you guys have built, and they get very out of hand, bro. They get very out of hand. And that's not anything we can do. We can't do something about that. We can talk to them about it. We can try to get on good terms about it. But bro, I have seen women freak out past the point of no return. Like they have lost their minds. I've seen women freaking out, bro, and they're not even themselves. They're completely out of their mind. You can't say nothing to them. It'll probably make it worse. And these are the exact types of women who are completely out of control. Damaged, traumatized. So have fun making something happen with one of those, because nothing will happen with one of those. You'll be in for another tough lesson. So yeah, there's a lot of messages today in this space about dating and women and everything else. And man, like at the end of the day, all of us guys, we can't fear. We have to keep trying. We have to keep trying and not mindlessly try to date and try to get things going, but calculated risks, because dating is very risky today. And you just got to keep your eyes peeled. If you know something's up, if you know she's not the one, if you know some weird stuff's happening and you stay, that is your fault, bro. That is your fault. And I've done it before. And I haven't even stayed too long with that being said, but I still did. And I told myself at the time, if things don't work out, if things get bad, that's my fault. I'll take it. So just understand that, bro. I know men, I've done coaching calls with that they've stayed in marriage for 10, 15, 20 years. Things were bad for such a long time, but they stayed. Like, what do you think's going to happen, man? It comes to the point where it is your fault for staying in such situations. Because if a woman is not playing her role, you're going to have to be absent as a man. So you can keep being a man and you don't lose your masculinity to some manipulative witch. Because they can take it right from you. But a real woman knows how to submit to a man, and the man stays a man. And the woman even feels more like a woman and stays a woman. This is the issue. This is the global issue we are having today in this crisis. Any last questions? Very good. God willing, God bless. We'll see y'all at the top.